It's real out there.
Oh, yeah, the ocean's going to get a lot rougher and a lot more dangerous in the days ahead. Let me show you the swells that are out there right now as measured by the buoys. They're running in the teens offshore. Near shore, they're about 7 to 12 feet, but they're going to be increasing everywhere. And for that reason, we've got two advisories to talk about. One is a high surf advisory for Thursday, all day Thursday from 4 a.m. The other is a coastal flood advisory for both tomorrow and for Thursday. And that's because of the high tides. Now, this is for swells that will be running breakers 25 to 30 feet. The coastal flood advisory is for what we call tidal overflow. And what that is, when we have extremely high tides like we're going to get, well, the water just gets high enough, it can flood some of the roadways like Highway 101 in low spots. So that's what's going on with the coastal flood advisories all the way down the Oregon coast. They also have wind advisories and warnings in southern Oregon too. All right, so why are we having these high tides? Well, it's because we have full moon tomorrow morning at 5:19 a.m. It is a supermoon as well, meaning it is making its closest approach to Earth. The moon's orbit around Earth isn't a total circle, it's more of an ellipse. So some places are closer than others, and when that close proximity coincides with the full moon, it's called a supermoon, and it's called the beaver moon in the month of November. Next month will be called the cold moon, and that'll be happening on December 4th. Now, even though we won't see it, it will have an impact on the coast because of the tides. Here's the tide chart, and I skipped a couple, but tomorrow, just after noon, a 10.1 tide. Whenever the high tides are in double digits in the tens and the low tides are in the negative numbers, you know you have extreme tides. The low tide Thursday morning, not too bad, but then the high tide Thursday afternoon, even higher at 10.3, and then there's that negative tide of 1.8 on Thursday night. So again, we're having extreme tides because of the full moon tomorrow. And then lots of rain because of an atmospheric river that's pouring into the northwest. Right now in Portland, it is 51 degrees, east winds, and they're gusting. It's about 30, 35 miles an hour out in the gorge. So that is happening. We're going to see that wind shift to the south tomorrow. While we're in the low 50s, down in Medford, they're in the mid 60s with the south wind. So they're on the south side, the warm side of a warm front. Cold front will move on shore. Big slug of rain coming into Northern California right now. One cold front, another cold front for Thursday to keep the rain going. Now, that said, there will be times where it's not raining, like from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. Looks like we'll be dry for a little while. That will typically happen right after a warm front goes by. There'll be a period of relatively warm and dry weather. So that will probably happen. Then the rain ramps up again in the afternoon and really picks up as the cold front comes on shore. And if you add it together for the two systems, really about an inch to maybe an inch and a half of rain in the Portland area over the 2-day period. Now let's talk about the winds, because those are a concern as well. This is what we're looking at now. Notice they're all easterly. I mentioned that earlier. That's why they've been warming up at Lincoln City, because that east wind is offshore. But as we go into tomorrow, they start going southerly, gusts of 44, 45, maybe 50 miles an hour down to the central coast. In the valleys, there's a gust near 40 in Salem. And finally, the southerly winds break through and eliminate the east wind, and we see wind gusts in the Portland area up about 30 miles an hour. And then another little burst of wind on Thursday, but I don't think it's going to last quite as long as what we get tomorrow. There's also a threat for thunderstorms. We'll be watching that very carefully. Again, there's the east wind, and it continues into the morning, and then it gets shoved aside by that strong south wind. So it's going to be a blustery couple days. We hit 56 today, 57 in Hillsborough and Vancouver, and right now it's coolish, 51, but we probably don't drop out of the 50s tonight. So the rain will increase in the morning, then we'll turn to showers later tomorrow as the southerly winds kick in. We get up to 35-mile-an-hour gusts. On Thursday, showers and windy again, and then it breaks up. We'll see much more settled weather on Friday and dry weather for the weekend, David.
Perfect timing for the weekend. Thanks, Matt.